So what happens when a king, totally blinded by his own pride, asks for love, but all he can actually hear is flattery? We're about to dive into that exact question, and the answer is found in one of Shakespeare's absolute most devastating tragedies, King Lear.
I mean, think about it. At its core, this play is about a single, absolutely terrible trade. It really makes you stop and think about how we value the people in our lives. Is it what they say, or is it what they do? And well, what happens when you get that completely wrong?
You see, Lear's mistake, it's not just some political mess-up. No, it's way more personal than that. It's the kind of error that completely unravels his family, his own mind, his entire world. And in doing so, it forces him, and yeah, it forces us, to face some really tough questions about what it even means to be human.
So where does it all start? It all kicks off with a test, a public performance of affection that just goes horribly, horribly wrong. And it's all because of one single, honest word.
And there it is, nothing. That's the word that starts the whole fire. See, King Lear asks his youngest daughter, Cordelia, the one he loves most, to basically put on a show and tell him how much she loves him for a piece of the kingdom. And she just won't play the game. Instead of flattery, she offers him the truth.
Lear's reaction? Oh, it's instant and it's brutal. You have to remember, this is a king who's used to getting his way, to hearing praise all day long. So he just completely misreads her honesty. He thinks it's a lack of love. He literally can't tell the difference between empty words and real feeling. And boom, with that one fatal mistake, he disowns the only daughter who was actually loyal to him.
So here's the thing you've got to get. The entire tragedy is built on this totally flawed idea. Lear doesn't want real love, he wants a show, a public spectacle and emotional performance. And so, he ends up rewarding the two daughters who give him these big, grand, totally empty speeches and punishing the one who actually offered him something real.
And here's where it gets really clever. What's so fascinating is that Lear isn't the only father in this story who is just tragically blind to the truth. Shakespeare, being the genius he is, mirrors this whole family drama in a completely parallel plot.
So in Lear's world, you've basically got two kinds of love on display. On one hand, you have Cordelia's. It's real, it's honest. But then you have Goneril and Regan. Theirs is just pure performance. It's a calculated act to grab power. And believe me, the second they get that power, all that sweet talk turns into just ruthless, cold ambition.
And it's the exact same story with one of Lear's noblemen, Gloucester. Just like Lear gets it wrong with his kids, Gloucester does the exact same thing. He's got two sons, and he completely fails to see which one is the good guy and which one isn't.
All right, so let's meet the sons. You've got Edgar, the good son. He's trusting, he's the legitimate heir. And then you have Edmund, his illegitimate brother. Edmund is just simmering with resentment about his place in the world. He's a master manipulator, and he decides he's going to take what he thinks is his, and he'll do literally anything to get it.
And Edmund's plan, it's as brilliant as it is evil, and it works like a charm. He totally preys on his father's insecurities, he forges a letter to make his brother Edgar look like a traitor, and he just systematically tears his own family apart from the inside out. All of it for power.
So, as both of these fathers, Lear and Gloucester, are betrayed, they get cast out, I mean literally and metaphorically. And it's right there, in that moment of total loss, that we see the play's great paradox come to life. Sometimes, you have to lose absolutely everything to finally see things clearly.
So can chaos actually lead to clarity? The play seems to scream yes, but let me tell you, it's a brutal, painful kind of clarity, the kind you can only find in the middle of a raging storm.
Now, Shakespeare uses this really cool literary trick here called pathetic fallacy. Basically, the insane storm that's raging outside, it's not just bad weather, it's a perfect mirror for the chaos exploding inside Lear's mind and the complete collapse of his kingdom.
And in this absolutely incredible moment, Lear isn't hiding from the storm. He's yelling at it. He's identifying with it. He embraces all that fury because it's exactly what he feels inside. The line between his own personal chaos and the chaos of the natural world, it just completely disappears.
And this right here, this is the turning point for him. In his moment of absolute lowest suffering, with no crown, no castle, no nothing, Lear finally sees the world from someone else's point of view. It's almost like all that power he had kept him wrapped in a bubble, away from any real human connection. And it's only when he loses it all that he can finally understand how badly he failed to care for the vulnerable people in his kingdom. For the first time, he feels real empathy. Now, Gloucester says this after his enemies have physically blinded him. It's got to be one of the most powerful lines in the entire play, and it just perfectly sums up this whole theme of sight versus blindness.
Think about that irony. When Gloucester could literally see, he was completely blind to the truth about his sons. It's only after they take his eyes that he gains true insight, a kind of moral vision. He finally understands who Edmund and Edgar really are.
So this brings us all the way back to that first fateful word, nothing. Remember that? At the beginning, it just meant emptiness, a void. But after everything they go through, both Lear and Gloucester discover that starting from nothing can actually be the beginning of, well, everything.
I mean, just look at Lear's journey. It's a total 180. He starts out as this proud, all-powerful king. Then he gets betrayed, loses it all, and spirals into madness. But it's through all that raw, unfiltered suffering that he finally gets to a place of real humility and true empathy. And this is what he says when he finally sees Cordelia again. The arrogant king, he's gone. Completely. In his place is just a broken, vulnerable old man who finally understands how foolish he's been. He's gained this incredible wisdom, but wow, look at what it cost him.
So you have to ask, why are we still talking about this play 400 years later? It's because the things it struggles with, family, power, justice, suffering, they're just as real for us today as they were back then. They're completely timeless. The thing about King Lear is, it doesn't really give you any easy answers. Not at all. Instead, it leaves you wrestling with these huge, uncomfortable questions. It makes you wonder, is the world a just place, or is it just random and chaotic? And how on earth do you find meaning when everything you care about is stripped away? And that, in the end, is the question the play leaves us with. When you strip everything away, all the power, the titles, the stuff we own, what's left? What actually defines who we are? Is it maybe something more real? Something we can only find when we have quite literally nothing left to lose?